Our next best of 5 of the night will be between Tempest and GG. So we saw Tempest play last night. They did get defeated there by Black 3-1 in the end. I think Modern Life was the player most criticized, especially by the Korean fans in that best of 5. But GG, a decent team on paper, again with a roster they've fashioned here. But I think that Tempest is going to be stronger.
Yeah, lots of these new teams, so to say. It looks like we're gonna take a look at Tempest right now.
안녕하세요. 템페스트 팀이고 작년에 썸머 챔피언이었던 팀입니다.
네, 안녕하세요. 이번 시즌부터 템페스트로 활동하게 된 사인 윤지훈입니다.
저희 팀원들이 모이게 된 계기는 이제 서로 추구하는 게 같아가지고 블리즈컨을 목표로 모인 팀이에요.
히어로즈를 하면서 이번에 처음으로 새로운 팀원들과 게임을 하게 됐는데 되게 색다른 것 같아요. 처음에 게임을 시작했을 때 그때의 기분도 많이 생각나고 팀원들이 되게 잘 맞춰주고 서로서로 자기 생각을 잘 말해줘서 되게 기대할 만한 팀인 것 같아요.
사인 선수가 합류하고 나서는 이제 아직 연습을 많이 한 게 아니라서 많이 팀워크 부분은 많이 부족한 것 같은데 확실히 전보다 더 주도적이고 각자 피지컬이 뛰어나기 때문에 1인분 이상씩을 다 하는 것 같아요. 그게 강점 같아요. 최근에 히어로즈 시작하고 이제 템페스트 합류하게 된 그 모던 라이프 선수가 키플레이어 같아요. 게임 내적으로 우선 자신감 있는 플레이로 그러니까 상대방을 본인이 있는 곳으로 많이 불러요. 저희가 좀 더 편하게 게임하게 도와주는 것 같아요.
제가 블랙에서 나온 뒤로 걱정해주신 팬분들이 되게 많아요. 그래서 그분들 생각해서라도 좀 더 좋은 모습 보여드리고 싶고 블랙이 아닌 다른 모습에서 좀 더 색다른 모습을 보여드리고 싶어요.
템페스트 많이 주목해 주시고요. 많은 응원 부탁드립니다.
OGN's Super League has had 4 champions. Tempest was the 3rd. They did win the Summer Global Finals of 2016 as well. Not with this roster, but the core is the same. We're looking at Duck Duck, Hyde, and Lockdown. Sign, moving from Black, played decently yesterday, but was outshined by Tist in the Warrior role.
Well, of course, Sign played straight, but Tist was on top of things. And Sign, they were already saying before he came out from Black, his positioning, and he was having some roller coasters in that. He was having some good games and bad games compared to before when Black looked invincible. Sign was in that front line. Basically, he was like Tist right now, where he was even better. But after that, he was having some roller coasters, and having a new team, of course, he has to take some time to fit in.
Lockdown did, play quite a bit of Vala. This is the composition that Tempest was trying to build, that unkillable Vala comp I was talking about, that glass cannon. But no success against Black on 2 of the 3 games played. Lockdown was considered in summer 2016 to be the best Falstad player in the world, and in this meta, I feel like there's a good chance for him to shine here, especially in this best of 5, if they get first pick, especially where that Falstad is going to come in. But I can tell you guys right now that they will have that first ban going to this first series. We're going to take a closer look at GG before we get into this best of 5. In just a moment, as our Korean commentator host is a little bit newer, he's going a little bit longer on his commentary for this, and we are kind of following that stream, guys. It's a piggyback broadcast, as they say here. Let's jump into GG.
저희 팀 이름은 GG고요. 굿게임이라는 뜻입니다. 항상 좋은 게임, 재밌는 게임, 이기는 게임 하자는 의미로 만들었습니다.
저희 팀의 스타일은 약간 빡해가지고 상대방을 좀 목조르게 하는 그런 스타일을 좀 하는 것 같습니다.
팀을 만든 지 2주 정도 돼서 지금 합을 맞추고 있는 단계입니다. 앞으로 이제 성장을 많이 할 수 있지 않을까 생각합니다. 키플레이어는 접니다. 팀에서 가장 중요한 포지션을 맡고 있다고 생각해서 키플레이어라고 생각합니다.
가상적으로 키플레이는 저라고 생각합니다.
죄송합니다.
자신이 키플레이어로 생각하는 게 팀의 가장 좋은 장점이라고 생각합니다. 확실히 대회라고 생각하면은 4위 이상은 하지 않을까. 권투 선수처럼 가드를 올려서 모든 걸 다 버틴 다음 스트레이트 펀치를 날려서 휘격 패스를 하겠다는 마음가짐을 하겠습니다.
연습을 해서 더 높은 곳까지 도전하겠습니다.
All right, good game. This team is filled with high-tier players that have played in OGN Super League. All 5 players have played televised matches at OGN, and every person looking at this roster, I'm sure as a fan, will have a different player to look at. Jaehyun is the player that played on TNL. He's an OGN champion from that roster, unfortunately not a BlizzCon champion. But my big pick is Woo Jae. He was one of the best Zagara players in the world, great at specialist, great at lane pushing, and in this meta that's very important as globals and macro is what is ruling Korea.
Yeah, I agree on that, of course, but also a support player that makes a lot of changes. Like we just saw Mary Day make a crazy show for us tonight, and that's gonna be on Reddit soon. And Jaehyun, who was supposed to be one of the most famous player for Malfurion, even before when Malfurion was not in the meta. And then we were asking, where is Jaehyun when Malfurion is now in the meta? Here he is. And look, we'll see how good of a Malfurion he's gonna play tonight.
That's right, he's the most famous Malf. And the thing about Jaehyun, especially in this case, is that he's finally playing support again, because when he played on First Family last season, he was definitely the weak link playing the tank role. Now he's back where he belongs, most would argue. I already mentioned Tempest has chosen first ban to win the coin toss, and good game will take Battlefield of Eternity as our first map.
And Braxis and Warhead is again banned. Warhead is again banned, but even Braxis has been banned several times in HGC Korea. Surprisingly, it's been banned out a lot of the times. We're seeing almost just 5 maps played, BOE, Dragonshire, Cursed Hollow, TOD, going over and over. It seems like a pattern here.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is. It doesn't even, you didn't have to like pretend like it's not. It's 100% a pattern.
Yeah,
but
it is.
This is actually, I think, the best map pool we've ever had in HGC, especially with Garden Terror removed. And there's so much flexibility for picks here, but these are the standard ones. We're not going to see the Cursed Hollow first, though. Good Game wants to take us to BOE. This is a map where first pick actually, I feel like, is less valuable in terms of the global heroes. Very valuable, though, in terms of what you could threaten. It's a good map to get 2-picked because you're looking for Tassadar Vala. That's why GG will ban the Tassadar. And first pick Falston seems to be the strongest first pick after the first ban phase right now, but I feel this is his weakest map in the meta, so a smart choice, actually. I never really thought about it this way in terms of how the drafting is working. But if you're going to be second pick, this is a good map. And they're going to first pick Li Ming.
Li Ming does come in high chance when you're out of range. Just have to poke that immortal to get the last bit of HP down, so you can get that immortal at the end. Even from the beginning, you can get some poking. And just banning out Vala, like we were talking about the Q Vala build, which is super strong, takes out so much HP from that immortal, but we didn't even see a Q Vala. It was a team fighting the grenade Vala.
Yeah.
So Vala is out of the draft, and there goes Malfurion. Oh, Jaehyun lost his Malfurion.
He lost his Malf.
Oh my.
Well, that's what happens when you first pick Li Ming. They're going to prioritize Tyrael really highly, which makes me wonder if this is going to be a gray main situation here, old Tempest style, like the old times. Keep in mind Woo Jae, who I think is, to me, I think is the key player. He also thinks so. It seems like everyone on Good Games thinks that they're the key player, but he has, you know, in his qualifier matches, the last one he won 3-0, 2 wins on Li Ming, so prioritizing it that highly, it's Woo Jae's hero, it seems to be. They're going to take Artanis here. Now, this is a better map for Artanis than the maps we saw previously, where we were seeing Raven try to make the hero work. So Artanis is not as pick important on this map, but he's actually quite good at chasing down the Immortals. Now, with this ban here, Tempest looks to deny a support hero. Now, we've seen in the past a lot of Jaehyun on Rhaegar. He's obviously liked some Malfurion, but he didn't play it very often because it wasn't meta back then. I think a Rhaegar ban here is pretty solid.
Rhaegar would be okay, but there is a slight chance that he would go for blood, so maybe that is the right pick. But they can also go for
Tychus is a good ban here too.
yeah, even Tychus. They can keep Leeming and Tarnis the only so to say DPS on the team. That's okay, but you can also ban out just to be safe. If it does not fit into your own comp, it is better to ban out damage from the other side.
The Tychus ban here leads into more damage removal, which could mean that Tempest is actually trying to block damage out. Now, you might wonder, why would they do that? They have no damage of their own. If they choke themselves into damage by removing Tychus, then what are they going to pick? It leads back into that potential Grey Mane pick I was talking about, and there's the ban. So, good game reads this like a book, as we have here on the commentator desk, because if you know Tempest, you see this early Tyrael ban, it screams Grey Mane. And you know what? G-Clef, we don't have double support here. I was going to say we might see Illidan, but with the Valstad Sergeant Hammer pickup, I don't think it's likely. It is possible, but Thrall would be a great last pick now for Tempest. They have a really solid comp. It's old school.
They need a bruiser in that, but also Tempest, something in mind. They are somewhere in there, they're preparing for a Jaina. I've heard some news info about that, hiding Jaina. It will come out, maybe not in this game, but in the later game, just to keep in mind. And GG, they have a lot of choices here. Falstad is of course global, but they can. This map is kind of forces you to fight a little more because you have to get that immortal in the middle.
It's really interesting you mentioned the Jaina, because I remember BDG actually being a really good Jaina back in the day. So
I know Europe plays somewhat of a Jaina, and even sometimes a little more rarely in NA, but Jaina is like super low tier in Korea, especially because she has no escapes.
you see the Zeratul Jaina combo sometimes. Oh, Nazebo! It's always the gingerbread Nazebo every time. There's the Karzim. But Nazebo has been played one time in North America, I believe, and maybe one time in Europe. I know once in NA for sure. It's a really good pick for sustained range damage. And also he has quite a lot of pushing power. But his real key factor comes with his trait. That's why he's used on Tomb of the Spider Queen very often. Because in the late game on that map, you get so many stacks to become more tanky than a tank. Muradin pickup here means they're not going to go with a Thrall. Just going to be, they wanted a more solid front line here to protect their range damage, rather than getting Thrall with only one support. Tyrael, the semi-support here.
And I like the bans from both sides, of course, but we have to go in. But Nazebo into a Battlefield of Eternity. I have a question on that, but we'll see after we go into game number 1 in Battlefield of Eternity.
All right, Tempest in blue, Hide on Malfurion, Duck on Hammer, Lockdown on Falstad, Sign on Muradin, and Modern Life wrapping up the Tyrael.
In red, GG, BDG on Leeming, Jaehyun on Karazim, Good on Artanis, Hooligan on ETC, and Uj on Nazebo. Not really a common pick, especially in this map.
So I talked about Uj a little bit earlier, and Uj is quietly one of the oldest, best specialist players. Many people in Korea consider him to be the best Zagara in 2015. Going into the early parts of 2016 in the spring season, on Hero, he was very strong there as well. He's the ex-Danawa Joker player turned Hero player who hasn't really done anything of note outside of Power League until this season of HGC. But on Hero, which is a top 4 caliber team, the team belonged to Jitset, an ex-Brewer Pro who now owns Luxury Watch and coaches it in Overwatch. He comes from a strong background of specialist specifically. We're going to see the catch here on the Hooligan, but he comes from a specialist background, not usually the range flex that does damage, although in his qualifiers he was playing Leeming, he was playing Falstad. So it's not a shock that this kind of pick would come out early on in this tournament. It doesn't feel like the map for it, but it can really help tick down the Immortals if you're left to just fling all of his spells. And he could push really hard with the Immortal, can help to deny it. He's got, I mean, he basically just does consistent damage if he's left to, with his spiders especially. And look at the tick damage already going down onto these towers. He is a specialist for that reason. He's used mostly for his tanking power And, you know, his consistent damage, again, if you get a zombie donut and you get all the spiders and frogs, you can do a ton of damage, AP damage to a single target. But that's not really what he's known for. Like, there's a lot more AP type of damage dealers out there.
I feel like GG actually have a good chance. I know the Zebo pick, some people are wondering, including myself, but he's going for that spider build, it looks like. It is really good for taking down that Immortal from the range with Li Ming. That's gonna help them take it down quite fast. And also GG, they have a lot of experienced players we were talking about in match 1. Basically the experience and the strategy that kind of just crossed the line from Raven from crossing over. And Black was already over that line from like 2016. So comparing that into match number 2, almost all of these players from GG, they're super experienced in terms. They've already played heroes for several years. And you can even say Tempest is, let's take a look at the team fight. Well, I
Sure, no, I mean,
talking a little more.
It's all right. We're going to see this fight go on. Hooligan actually gets chunked down quite a bit. Jayan will have to dash away. Modern Life is on the chase. He just barely has enough damage there with his level 1 smite upgrade to get the kill here. GG will actually win the Immortal fight with just a few more pokes here with Li Ming and the Zebo. They lost only 1 member. This is pretty good for them. Ooh, gonna lose 2 here though, as a little bit overstepped is Hooligan. They win the Immortal, which is more important at the end of the day, but it would have been a lot better if Hooligan hadn't died there.
Yeah,
obviously.
but I think this is a good trade for both sides. So I think it's about even, I would say. If GG really want to pressure this into a fight later on, they can pressure a little bit more. But this is only the first Immortal, which Tempest is going to take down pretty fast. And then, as I was talking about GG, they have experienced players. This isn't the most macro map, so to say, but they know what they're doing compared to Raven. Tempest, you can say Tempest is a newer team compared to GG in terms of individual experiences. So there goes Ujay has some things in his mind while he's picking that Nazebo into this map.
Keep in mind as well, going back to the Zebo pick, I thought I had it earlier, is when you look at what damage was available, Li Ming was taken, Greymane is banned, Hammer, Falstad taken away.
And Vala was banned.
Yeah, Vala's banned as well. So you look at it, you're kind of looking for a specialist to do AP damage. Like, the only ones really left could have been maybe Sylvanas and
Also a little bit of trouble here, and he blows up just at the beginning of the fight. GG's still gonna press.
Yeah, Dugta gets caught, and that is nice move here by GG, but the more I think about it, I just feel like this Nazebo pick isn't actually really that crazy.
Yeah.
And he got reworked, you know, his growth, you know, his health growth from his trait became baseline. It was actually a talent before. That makes him a lot stronger.
Like, he's not doing the most damage on Siege or Hero, but still he's been doing good damage. Look at that. Good in a bit of a trouble, and they will take down that kill. Tempest really pressuring hard on that bot lane. They will also pressure the wall while carries him. It's going to be a trade. I feel like Tempest almost has to defend this one, but the decision already has been made, so they just have the trade in a way.
This is a really strange game in terms of what these players are doing. This is way, way, way better for a good game. Hooligan gets the stun here, defends this fort, forces the Tempest players to actually take a bit of fort damage. Nazebo allows a much stronger push. Yes, Tempest has Sergeant Hammer, but wasn't part of an initial push because of what we saw earlier with the Immortal, the wall already being down. This was a move that Good Game could actually take. It was a move that they could actually do because of the push that happened earlier and because they have Nazebo. Tempest tried to trade that, but were unsuccessful. And Good Game pretty ahead at this moment in time, and they're already on top of this Mortal with the Zebo here. They're definitely going to force Tempest to invade here. Hooligan with really good positioning on that ETC.
Look at it, already half HP gone. They have the first half already. Tempest was trying to contest, defend for it, but no chance. Nazebo and Li Ming just constant damage from long range. Tempest, the only thing they can really do after hitting that 10, I feel like Tempest has that style where they, okay, let's hold on to that thought. Tyrael is in danger, but barely survives that.
Modern Life very, very low here. Will need a few heals from Hyde before he can actually really come back into the fight. Might just go home and tap. He's going to go into that middle gate here. During the time he's gone, though, GG is just going to wail on this Mortal. It's going to be nearly fully shielded. Lockdown comes back in. He's immediately spotted here by Jaehyun, though. going in. He's going Iron Fist, which has been pretty consistent in this tournament. There's a kill, unfortunately, though, onto Good. Will he be able to get the pick onto Dug Dug? Not enough damage here. It's 2 down. Wujae's caught out as well. And the funny part about all of this is the Immortal actually still has 1,600 health. I don't think, oh, they don't see him. Oh, they have the scouting drone, they see him now. I believe if they had seen him before, I don't think he could have gotten this. Sign's actually going to delay this. They're going to try to get as many shields gone as they can.
I think it is possible for Hooligan to actually get it.
He gets it now, yeah, for sure. Or does he?
86
oh
left.
my god.
Oh my goodness, and they need one more, and then BDG misses his shots. Oh my goodness. And he actually gets it with auto attack at the very end. But barely. We saw this happen like 3 times already on day number 1. They had Immortal having so little of HP, they decided to go all the way in, and that's the chance for the other team. Tempest took that chance, and
well,
they saw so many kills.
We saw Honkono try this yesterday.
Oh yes.
This is just generally a lack of composure is the only way I could really politely say what I just saw there. What you do in this case is, yes, you might lose a little bit more shields in doing so, but you regroup and you poke and you kill it. You don't have to force it there.
Especially not when you're level 10. If you're behind with your level 9 when your opponent is level 10. Okay, Tempest really forcing this pressure.
Ooh,
even
nice Sank there.
This Hooligan is alone there. Very nice use of Sank with the gust right there. And Wujae is caught. There's literally almost no way of getting out of that. And Modern Life is very close to being dead.
He is going to go down here. We'll clear this wave. Good job there, too, real quick. But the problem with just trying to just hard engage with a big ETC dive in like that is that, hold that thought, we're going to have another fight here. Good taking a lot of damage. The cleanse goes down here. It's not enough. The palm on Good here is ignored, but now that it's expired, they can just take him down. It's going to be a big 2-for-1 win right now for Tempest. But going back to what I was saying, when you try to engage with a stage dive like that, you telegraph your move, you can well time a Sank against it. And that's what we saw there. Modern Life with a really nice timed Sank. Usually you use ETC stage dive to get soaked somewhere else and then come in from behind so that they can't really retreat and they can't really block it with a Sank like that. So well done by Modern Life and a bit aggressive from Good Game. I think they're feeling some of the pressure in this best of 5 already starting off in game 1.
And as I was talking before, Tempest really has that style of hitting that heroic at level 10, just being safe before, and then just having this coordination of heroics like Sanctification, and then just move gusting all of the other 4 so you can focus on one target at the right moment. It's really coming along. Like, it didn't work too much of Black. Like, Black already know the style of Tempest 100%. They fought against each other so many times, and Black really took that advantage and they just crushed the game before they hit 10. But here we have with small map where they contest so much. The GG wasn't really taking that into favor because you can't macro too much on this map, especially.
Absolutely. We're going to see an invade actually here. We do see the Gargantuan come out early. It's not going to be enough to stop this invade. It is used. Does a little bit of damage, but not really worth it there. I understand why it was used. Modern Life coming in here with a great Sank. Everyone walks into it here. That's usually the Sank that you want. If everyone can approach the Sank and push Hero's back, that's how you want to do it. Now, Good Game has consistently been getting these Immortals because they have so much poke, but with this big win and the invade, they lost position, and now 2 camps are pushing the top 4, so they have a timer here. The camp might do more damage than the Immortal later on if left alone, so we're going to have to see them win this team fight, or they're going to really far behind. They're already down a talent tier here. Nice palm on Good.
And Hooligan does come in. Modern Life does not have Sank available. He's going to go down first. This will be wiped. And Li Ming is already dead. It looks like Tempest has the upper hand at the moment. Let's see when Karazim does get caught. It is going to be 2-for-1 trade for now.
Now, was a really good silence there with Malfurion that really turned the tide. Lockdown's going to come back to the fight here. No retreat here for Wujae. He's just going to go down. Does get the kill on Lockdown with the DOT. There's actually a route. Those mines go off here. He's trying to maintain vision with the Moonfire. Hooligan, will he get out? No, he will not.
One of the best supports. Hyde for sure. One of the best Korean supports, but those spiders did so much damage. Fallside, even with that shield, just went down in an instant.
Well, The funny thing about this
What a crazy
exchange is, yeah, it still should be good game taking the lead on these Immortals with the composition that they have.
Yeah, because they also died earlier, they came
Yeah.
back faster in
Yeah.
a way. I think that helped in a way, I guess.
Definitely so, but it's still pretty close. They only have about 1,000 health lead right now. And they are going to come in here. Sign trying to do what he can. I think Tempest needs to turn on this. Gargantuan already popped. There's nobody going to win this, but maybe they can take some kills. Sulfuric Smash not
Great-
in this game.
Great pop, great palm onto the BDG. BDG keeping alive, trying to look for a kill so he can get. And Immortal does go down while that's all happening. Modern Life is in danger. Pops that Sank to stay alive. The entire team of GG literally forced out because they've got their mission. They don't have to fight, but they're chased back now. Hooligan's so
Hooligan's
low.
so low. He gets that one heal here. Sign on the chase. Hooligan still lives. You see a nice prism here, but it's not going to be enough. This looks to be a wipe. BDG's caught here. All they have to do is maintain vision so Duck Duck can get the autos. Actually kills him with the napalm. Mujay's coming next to fall. Was a gazebo smash earlier, not a sulfuric smash. Sorry for the misspeak.
And
The
wow,
Immortal
that was-
still goes to GG, but they're starting to fall behind in talent tiers now. It's going to be 16 to 13 with this wipe. And also, you know what I said earlier? I said this literally, this camp could do just as much as the Immortal. It actually, if it kills that keep wall, it did more than the Immortal. It was left up there the entire time. Tempest controlling the macro flow of this game by getting those camps. It's finally cleaned up now, so it looks like the Immortal did just a little bit more.
Yeah, but still, it was worth so much more. And Tempest hitting that level 16 GG is now pressured back from the fight a little more when they actually have to fight into Tempest. They don't have to fight into Tempest. They can wait like last time Artanis grabbed one of them. Well, it happened to be Tyrael, and then Tyrael just popped that Sank just to stay alive. And then they can fight right after. Tempest, if they don't have a Sank, it's one of the heroics that if they lose it, then they can't really fight. They can fight, but still, there's a high chance of losing without that.
Well, if they use it and they don't, or if they use it early and they don't have it, they can still fight, but their fight becomes a lot weaker, and it means that the burst damage that Li Ming can put out is much stronger. It's still Material's still quite powerful with the shields he can provide with Nazebo against them, because Nazebo's going to do that poke damage. There's going to be a rotation back to try to deal with this huge push onto the keep. Everyone will get home before the keep wall goes down, but already this is a huge minion wave coming in here. With this rotation back, they will leave, and you know what? Big move here by Good Game. They leave Hooligan in the bot lane, so he's actually going to get some extra EXP. They knew that it really need him. He has stage dive, he can join. I like this move a lot. But they're still going to lose this camp, which is really frustrating because that camp was pushing the top lane so long. I think Tempest is about to have their camp ready. They can rotate down here, clear this, and they get their own Shaman camp. So they're at this position now where it's not checkmate by any means, but they're just so far ahead that Good Game kind of just have to sit back, soak for 16, and look for this next Immortal. They're going to take it, most likely, even down a talent tier because their comp is better for it. They just need to make sure they can get in position. That's really been the issue. If they're in position, they win it easily. If they're not, it's a lot tougher.
I think Tempest is going to force them to fight. Sign just jumps in right there, picks on that Nazebo. Uj is in a bit of a trouble. And Gus flies away, and Uj is out of position, and Hooligan comes in the front line to save him. Sign still harassing Uj all the time, and stage dive does come in just so that he can save his teammates from the trouble. And Modern Life diving right in. What a great play.
He had that holy ground. Here's the root. The combos go on and on and on. Modern Life wants to kill him. Uj, he will get it. And with 4 dead here and the keep wall open, this could just simply be game, G-Clef. Game number 1 looking like it is going Tempest's way. Gonna get the stun here, the follow-up stun onto BDG, making this a 5-man wipe. The amount of health here for Tempest can take down this keep and go straight for the core. And that is exactly what they are going to do. 18 to 15 here. I don't even want to say this out loud. Cover your ears, children. This game is 26 kills to 6 in favor of Tempest. And Good Game had a comp that won the Immortals. Yes, they did, but they won almost nothing else. And Tempest will win game number 1 with superior positioning. Down goes the core. GG, but not on the GG side.
Yeah, GG not on GG side for it was a good game in terms of the game, but GG they need to brush up a lot more. And compared to that Tempest play, we saw Modern Life's play yesterday with Ragnaros a few times. He seems a lot more comfortable on this Tyrael. knows the timing when to go in, when to split with that holy ground. He just forced the team to split into different directions, and instantly Tempest chose the right side, and then CC's got caught and just basically blew up the entire game.
Nazebo, did he work out in this game in terms of killing the Immortals first? Yes, he did a lot of damage. Obviously, there's a lot of tick damage. They had a comp that had Li Ming there as well to do a ton of damage to the Immortals. So they won the Immortals pretty consistently, pretty dominantly. But they lost a lot of members to do so. Looking back at the first time where they dove in to try to kill an Immortal and failed initially, eventually got it, but lost 2 members for that where they didn't really need to. It seems like when they win the Immortals, if you're watching, you might think, well, I mean, they're doing okay. They're getting these Immortals, but they were losing on every other front. They were behind in EXP. They weren't really pushing any objectives. They were unable to deal with the Shaman camp that was in the top lane, which nearly killed the keep wall. The Shaman camp might as well have been an Immortal for how much it did. And they lost members, so their Immortals weren't pushed with. They weren't able to find any value from them. And in the end of the game, they just couldn't win team fights. And at the end of the game, you have to win team fights to win the game, generally speaking.
I think Tempest made the better choice to actually trade it well, just give the Immortal out to GG, and then you can actually take some kills and at least trade. They know their talents, they know when they can be strong, when they can actually pull out that wombo combo, like Lockdown coming from the side, gussing them over, just disengaging the entire team, or just isolating one person so they can focus on one, which happened at least one time. And also, winning the Immortal fight is not everything, but I think GG just heavily focused on that, starting from the draft.